Welcome everybody to our show. This is Custom Fab Garage on our channel Octane TV on YouTube. Make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button, and on top of that, make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you can get all the new content that comes out weekly and even every day.
Here's our next project, Cadillac CTSV wagon. This one might be one of the biggest projects we have ever done, with all new audio, custom enclosure. Pretty much this whole entire vehicle is going to get a whole update on audio, including new radio, new speakers, new amplifiers, new custom enclosure, everything. This will really show off what you can do with these Cadillacs. Typically, we just replace the radio, but this one we're going to go all out on. Alright, today on this Cadillac CTSV, we're going to be doing an XAV AX3200 head unit from SONY. One of the best head units we pretty much use on all of our vehicles. The dash kit we're going to be using is a 99318 HG. This is the black, gloss black edition for the Cadillac CTS and CTSV. It's a whole replacement. And obviously, you know, the XAV AX3200, they also make the 5000, the 5600, 7000, and the 8000. So those are all really good head units. We'll put a link down below underneath in the description where you can just click on it and buy it directly from Amazon. They'll have it to your house in a couple days. This is the steering wheel module that we're going to be doing, which is an ASWC. We'll put the link down there for that as well. That's just plug and play for the steering wheel controls. Antenna adapter, 40 EU10. This is what it calls for, and a 40 EU30, I believe, but the EU30 is on back order for some weird reason, so we're going to try that. This is the new rear view, basically the rear view camera. The integration is an AXBU-CH-GM2. This is the harness. This is the replacement harness for an older harness, so they changed the model number to this, so hopefully that works. Everything's changing. All the model numbers are changing. And then these three items we ordered is an HDMI converter, and this is the audio video input that is going to go into this particular head unit. If most people don't know, the 3200 has an audio video input, one of the first ones I've seen to where you can just plug an audio video input. So we're going to try to trick it by using this audio input cable with this adapter, and then plug the adapter into the phone. So we're going to see if that works. Customer wants to try this, so I'm going to try it. He bought these parts. I'll put the link down below if it does work. So if that does work, then you can do Netflix, all that stuff directly from your phone through this adapter, through this cable, direct into the head unit. So we'll see if that works, but I'm not going to get my hopes up because we've tried it in the past with other little converters and it didn't work good, or the quality wasn't good. So we'll see if this works. Here is the factory radio before, so you can kind of see what it looks like. This is the motorized screen that does come up. This is the factory nav with Bose. This is a CTSV. It is also a wagon, so it is gloss black underneath this carbon fiber wrap. So we want to kind of show you what it looks like before, so that way you can see what it looks like before and what it's going to look like after. So here it is with the display on, so you can kind of see what it looks like before. All right, first step we're going to do is we're going to take off this piece right here. you know, you can use a plastic pry tool, whatever you'd like to do, and then you can, I'm pretty sure, I haven't done one of these in a while, start down here and kind of move your way back here. Next step, we need to pull up on this, so we're going to pull up right here. As you can see, when you pull up, it's going to pull this whole piece up. I need to unplug this plug right here. We move the shifter back with the ignition in, that way we can get this out. All right, so let me show you this real quick. We unscrewed this because we were having a hell of a time getting this part out. Usually this comes out very simple. You just disconnect this chrome piece from this piece. So basically this piece is sitting there and then this chrome piece is sitting down in it. But we really had to pry it with the plastic pry tool to get it unwedged so that way you can get the shifter out. So if you have the shifter back, it's much easier to work with it with this chrome piece. You just slide it around and then move it out, okay? But it's much easier to work now because when you put this in park, you don't have this big thing hitting up against this, so you can get this piece out much easier. And you'll find out once you start pulling this out, it's much easier to do it this way. Next step, we're gonna remove this 7mm on this side and 7mm on this side down here on the bottom. Now this whole entire panel now, when you just pull on it, the whole panel is going to come up as well. The other parts that we're going to need to do next is we're going to need to pull this off, and we're going to pull this off. And the way you can get that is just with the simple plastic pry tool, and it pops right off. This is this piece on this side, right here. This is this piece on this side, and when you pull it out, you're going to have to push out and then pull out because of these little Loch Ness monster things that they have going on. So you just pull out, push over, pull out when you do this one. Once you pull this whole entire piece out, you'll get your plastic pry tool. You'll have to get up into this top part right here. It's hard because everything on this thing is wrapped, so it makes it kind of difficult to do. But man, this thing, there we go. Okay, so now that this part is out, what we've there we go. Okay, so now that this part is out, what we need to do is we got to pull the shifter back. So you're gonna turn the ignition on, pull the shifter back, pull this part right here is gonna have to come back, and then you get that screen to come up. When you get that screen to come up, underneath down there, there's, if you can see back there, it's hard to see, you've got to get those bolts right down there out. You've got to get that one right there, that 7mm. You've got to get that out while this is up, while the electricity's on, because if it goes down, you can't get the 7mm out. That's kind of the hard part about this. All right, I kind of slid this thing over. You got to keep it all connected. And then you want to get this 7mm out here. You want to get this 7mm out back there. And there's another 7mm back over here. You've got to get those three out while this screen is up, while it's live. If you don't, you can't get this thing, this piece right here out. Now that we've got all those screws out, this thing should just, it's basically now the whole motorized piece will come out like this now, which is nice. It's awesome. So we remove this whole entire piece right here. The only plugs that you'll need to remove is this, and then I call it cigarette lighter plug down here. So you got two plugs right here that have to unplug. This bad boy is up. So when I turn off power, should go back down. Perfect. So now it's all shut together so we can pull it out. We're gonna need to remove 7mm, 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 and 7mm here to get the DVD drive out. Here's all the plugs you're gonna remove. This comes down like a BMW plug. The way this does, you just push in on this and then slide that down. You're gonna have this plug here. That is the black plug that was on the bottom. So this is the only plug you have to unplug besides this one. And then up here, you're gonna have this blue plug, which I'm not sure, I'm guessing navigation. You're gonna have another blue plug, or black plug here, should be for your antenna, USB, XM, so is your gold. And then there's also another one. Yep, and then there's this one as well. There's a blue one as well. It kind of looks like an antenna, so I'm not quite sure what this blue one right here is for. We'll find out. Could be for something with the navigation as well. So those are all the plugs that you have. All these down here to unplug to get everything out, and then we're gonna work on getting the screen out. Here's the back side of the screen and what you need to unplug. 3 plugs for the back of this. These are the 3 plugs, black, gray, and blue right here. You'll want to do it while the screen is up because it won't come out this way. You want to do it while it's motorized up. So this gray plug plugs into here, and then out here you have your video output. It says you just plug that in. I think the other harness will give us the rear signal lead, but that's where you plug this into. This is the backup camera integration plug right here. Okay, here's the harness. What you're going to want to do is connect the two red wires together, your yellow, your black. Those are your three primary wires. Basically, I would say four, but the reds connect together. Those are what you're going to connect to your radio harness. Then you're going to have a green with a purple stripe, and that's going to go to your reverse on your, if you have a rear view camera. And then you have a blue with a pink stripe. That's your vehicle speed sense if you need that. Some of these vehicles don't need it, some of them do, depending on the radio that you need for the navigation. We just zip tied all this stuff together so it's easy to put in there. This right here will plug into our ASWC. I'll show you that in a few moments, and this will plug into the back of the radio for the ASWC for the steering wheel controls. We made it super simple and easy. We'll wire this in and kind of show you, but this is as simple as it should be. The only thing I did was I took the speaker wires and put them over here. The main reason I did that was because we're not going to use speaker wires on this. So if you're going to connect Bose or non-Bose, you'll want to just connect these speaker wires right here to the back of your radio. But we're not doing that because we're using an aftermarket amp. So I just want to let you guys know, if you're wondering why I'm not connecting these, that is why. Just connect these speaker wires, the greens, the purples, the whites, the grays. That's it. Everything should work properly. Here's what you want to do is you'll want to plug this module in right here to this extra cord you have here for the ASWC, and that plugs right into there. And here's the back side of this. What we're going to want to do is we need to remove all these little tiny screws all the way around. Not these little ones, but the bigger ones that hold all the pieces in, because we want to get this piece out, and this piece out, and this piece out here. We want to get all four of these pieces removed and then unplug all this from that and get the big chunks taken out. So you want to unscrew all this stuff, and then you'll be able to unplug and then unplug. We have a lot of them removed right here, over here in this pile, so that we can get all these out. I did forget that these are Torx. I can't remember, it's either the T10 or T15, I'll let you guys know, but you got to take these out with 4 Torx right here on the bottom. These 4 T10s right here. Here we took off the 4 Torx. We've already started pulling each piece. We're going to pull this piece and pull this piece out, and then everything will come out. Forgot one important thing. You have to take out these 4 down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we got all that removed now. Basically, we're going to pull this bad boy off right here. And then this whole piece will just come off. Okay, so here's everything is basically off, and everything is separated. So now we have this piece off and this piece ready to go, and we're gonna have to trim. Basically, we're gonna have to trim. I'll show you the diagram, this part right here. See this diagram, how it's labeled like right there? That's how we're gonna have to make this look. So I'll start drawing it on there, how this looks, and then we're gonna have to cut all that out. All right, we have our line marked where we need to cut all this out, make room for the double din to make it look like this. So before, and then it should look like this after. All right, so we went ahead and cut this with our almighty Milwaukee Dremel cordless. Not my best cut, but we cut it out like the picture. And you definitely want to make sure you cut at least like the picture. If you leave a little hanging, double din won't fit in there, just to let you know. It will get caught, and then you'll be really mad and you'll have to take everything back out and cut it again. So there's the diagram for the removed shaded area. That's what it looks like afterwards. Ours looked like a tiger kind of bit it over here because my Dremel is getting out of control, but that's pretty much it. And we're gonna start assembling it back all together. Here's the piece put on here, and you will want to put these little spacers right here, right up here on the top parts right here, because if you don't put the spacer, the screw will go through the piece. So you want to put the spacer so the screw doesn't go all the way through, just to let you know. Very important. And we're gonna start assembling this piece all back together and putting the pieces back in one by one. Here's what they'll look like when you put the washer on them, and you can use the factory screws back on there, both sides. And this is what I'm talking about, making sure it's cut out, because that double din has to slide in here. If you don't have enough cut out right here, that double din will hit right here. So you gotta make sure you have plenty cut out. You won't have any reason for this to have to come back out and disassemble this whole thing and cut it again. All right, we got it all put back together. This is pretty much what it should look like after you get all the screws put in. Everything is all put back together. So now, basically, when you flip it over, it's going to look like this now. Sorry about all the fingerprints. but then you'll have your opening now for your double pin. This is the USB adapter we're going to use, which is a mini, not micro, but a mini USB to USB. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our USB at the back of this, we're going to plug this into here and hope that this will plug into the factory one and it will make it work. So we can plug in there so we can use the one in the center console. Let's hope that works. All right, here's RCA. So we did a gray and a blue for the rear, and we did a white and a light gray and white for the front, and a dark gray and a blue for the rear. And then we're going to put the adapter on there for the sub. These are the door panels we're going to be working on a CTSV coupe. They will be different, obviously, because it's not a four-door. This is a CTSV wagon, which are almost identical to the CTSV four-door. They will also work on the regular CTS. It doesn't have to be a V, but these are the door panels we're going to be working on and replacing the rear speakers. First step we're going to do is there's a little piece inside of here that you will want to take your hook tool here, this little guy right here, and you'll want to get in there, and then you can just basically pop this piece out right here. And if you just grip it right back here on the back side, this bad boy will come right out. You don't want to mar up the face of it by getting it on the edges. I'd go right back here where you have like a little gap, and then there's the back side of that. And then we have a Phillips screwdriver, or Phillips screw right back here. This is the screw that we pulled out of here. Obviously this one's been taken out before, and we take everything and baggy it up so we don't lose anything at all. Next step you're going to do is you're going to take your plastic pry tool, you're going to have to get into here, and then this whole piece right here will pop out. What we did to pull this piece off, what I would recommend is when it's on here, basically go up underneath it right here and then break it loose, knock it off from the top part, and then bring yourself down. And it's got this stupid thing in here that holds it to the door panel, so yeah, I'm not a fan of that because it makes a pain in the ass, but I'm gonna try to get it off. And then you have a Phillips screw back here, and then you have another Phillips screw back here. So the screws that come out of here are so big, there's two of them, that you could use a number 3. I would recommend using a number 3, not a number 2, because these screws are so big that it needs to get down in there, and there's 2 of them in the door. Here's the second one. Much easier if you use a number 3. Now what you're going to do is you're going to want to get underneath the door panel. You could use your plastic pry tool, take this underneath here, and you're going to start prying out all the way around. Here's the back side of the door panel. And these are like BMWs where the speaker mounts to the actual door panel, not to the door. Here's the other side here. You will have to pull the door panel up over this, and it does plug in like this. It's just like all Cadillacs where it unplugs this way. You don't actually unplug harnesses. To get this bad boy off, what I recommend is taking needle noses and pushing those in. And then once you basically push those 2 in together, it will pull back, and then you can pull the ball out. That's pretty much how it works. And there's the indentation right here for the speaker. This is the stock Bose speaker. This particular one is a 4-ohm, and it does appear to be the same on the wagon as it is the 4-door. And then here is your harness right here that you're going to need. Now this is the driver rear, so it is going to be your blue and light blue. Those are standard GM colors, which is pretty awesome, even though this has the Bose amplifier. This is a 5 1/4, so we are going to have to use a 5 1/4, not a 6 1/2 on this particular model. That way that we can just basically put the Same exact size speaker in there, and then everything will go back in like OEM. What we'll need to do to remove these, I believe these are T15s, and take off these 4, and then unplug this harness right here, pushing down here in the middle part right here, and that bad boy will just unplug. I believe I do have speaker harnesses, so we can just plug the speaker harnesses in and then put it into the speaker itself. These are the speakers we're going to be using today, which are Audio Dynamics. I would highly recommend them. If you do need a set, please get in contact with me. We'll put our email down below the description, down below the video in the description. If you would like any other types of speakers, we'll put links to speakers that will work just as good. Not quite as high end as these, but we will put links down in the description below to where if you want to just purchase them, you click on the link, you can buy them. As far as Audio Dynamics, we are a dealer for them, so if you would like to purchase a set of these off of us, you're more than welcome to go to the email down below this video in the description, shoot me an email, we'll be able to get you set up with these right away. We highly recommend Audio Dynamics in all of our vehicles, but it is also the highest end product, so if you are looking for something that's more budget friendly, click the links below. You can buy that immediately and have it shipped right to your door. These are the speaker harnesses that you will want to use, the 72-4568 Metro speaker harnesses. You just plug these in to get you everything that you need. I'll kind of show you when I take them out of the package, but it basically gives you your connections on the other side, and it plugs and plays right into this and then plugs right into your speaker. I would never ever cut this harness off, no matter what you do, especially on these Cadillacs. You don't ever cut these harnesses off. That's not a good idea. Use everything that is plug and play. These will connect this to your actual new speaker here. You want to take your T15, take all 4 of these out. We went ahead and got our speaker mounted on here. Now there is a gap from here all the way around because this speaker has foam on it all the way around to kind of seal it. So what we're going to do is we're going to run foam all the way around this speaker, all the way, so that the sound doesn't come out the side, it will just go directly out. So we're going to do that. We're going to run foam all around here. We'll probably even put foam all the way out to here to kind of, just kind of dampen this door panel and things like that, make it more rigid and, any kind of vibrations or anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and do probably this whole bottom part of this door panel right here. We'll go ahead and do that on, but first we'll seal up this part right here real good. Here's what I mean by your speaker harness adapter. You plug this into here and it gives you your positive and negative, and you just put those onto your clamps right there. So that's basically how this works. Plug and play. Here's the dampener that we used. It's the foam. I'll go ahead and put the link down in the description underneath the video down below. We went ahead and went around all the edges with this to kind of just seal it up all the way around, still keeping these exposed. And then I'm going to kind of go around all this and get the whole bottom of this bad boy foamed up. We got everything all foamed all the way around. This is kind of just a little bit of precautionary just for vibrations or anything like that, and kind of sealing this up. These are the door panels we're going to be taking off on this Cadillac CTSV. They will probably be the exact same on the Cadillac CTS wagon. Coupe are different, but the wagon and the 4-door sedan, and whether or not it's a CTSV or CTS, should be the same. Now, if you have Bose, it might be a little bit different. This is Bose, and I will tell you there is a large 10-inch driver similar to the Corvettes in here. So there's not an actual speaker, there's a flat piston driver. That's what produces the bass. So if you think that you can just take these out and change them out and put speakers in here, don't do that unless you want to change out every speaker in here, which is what we're doing. So I just want to show you guys, if you blow one of these flat pistons, you'll have to buy another flat piston to put back in here or rewire the whole car. Step one, what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece out. You're going to get your hook tool in here, right here, and just start pulling right here out, and then this bad boy will just pop itself out. And there's what it looks like when it's out, and there's the back side right there.
And then inside of there, right down that dark hole, is a Phillips. Next step, what you'll want to do is you'll want to kind of come up behind here, in between this piece here, and you'll want to separate this plastic piece right here, and this piece will all pop out. So when you pop this piece right here and you pull it, and then boom, this bad boy will come all the way out, just like that. And inside there, you're gonna have a large Phillips. I would use a number 3 when you're taking it out. And then inside there, you'll have another one. Don't try to use a number 2, it will strip it out. I would use a number 3. When I refer to number 3, this is what I'm referring to. There's your number 2, there's your number 3. So you definitely want to use a number 3 in here. Get it right in there. You do not want to strip out these threads and then take this out. And there's the bolt that comes out of that one, and it's the exact same one that comes out of this one. We've got all 3 of these out. We're gonna start pulling, probably like on this side or probably on this side over here. And what you wanna do is just kind of pull out. And if it's the first time it's ever been off, it's gonna be kind of a pain in the butt to get off. But that's pretty much the next part. And you wanna be really careful because once this comes off, it's gonna pop right off on you. Once you pop it off, you will wanna take your needle noses, and what you'll wanna do, it's kinda hard to see, but you'll wanna clamp this part down here together. And then once you clamp this part right here together, you'll wanna pull back on this part here, and then that pulls it out. Here's what I mean by clamping it. You'll wanna push these together, and that's what kind of makes it smaller, and then it pulls back, and then you can pull the ball out. And here is your magnificent woofer. It's very, very, very similar to the Corvette one. That's what produces all your mid bass and quote unquote bass in this vehicle. And that's what it looks like from the back side. So what we are gonna do is we're gonna take this whole jalopy out. We're gonna make an adapter, and we're gonna put a 6.5 in here. Here's the back side of the door panel as well. And this is everything that locks in for all your harnesses right here. And to take this whole big jalopy off is 1/7, 1/7, 1/7. Might even, no, that's it. Those 3 sevens. Here's the back side. That is the wiring harness right there. Uses a standard harness right here. So this is how much depth you have basically behind this. Now we could kind of take this thing apart and partially use this, which we might end up doing, but I'll see how we're gonna do this first, because we're gonna need this to space it out. And here is the wiring collar right here, which is light green and dark green on the passenger side door. And there's not much room in there. I'll kind of get a tape measure out and tell you how much we have back there. So to the door panel on the outside, it's about 1 3/4 inches. To the inside is about 1.5 inches till you hit that window. So I would say you have about 1 inch from the inner part of the lip and from the outer part of the lip. Just to be safe, I would say like 1.25 inches of mounting depth behind this. But since this part right here is, let's say roughly from this bad boy here, you have I'd say roughly 1.5 inches on this mounting plastic piece, and then all the way out to the front you have about 2.5. So you have 2.5 from here to here, and then from this mounting piece is about 1.5 inches from here to here. So we might just take this piston off of this piece and see what we can do about using this. So these bolts right here are a 6mm to take this apart. Here's this separated, and it is a 9-inch 2-ohm front. That is the model number you will need to replace this woofer. And we have it just separated. We just took it out of this piece. So we're gonna make our own piece that goes into here to be able to use this piece right here. All right, we handmade, this is almost 1/2 inch thick HDPE, I believe, for these 4000 series components, woofers. So that way it will just mount to this other bracket right here and mount right on. We'll kind of show you when it gets all finished, but
Not easy to cut through this, let me tell you, and make all this to fit precision. I gotta make another one for the driver's side. So here's the adapter plate that we made. Look how thick that bad boy is. And then it's gonna just bolt to all these factory bolts. And then our big old massive 4,000 speakers are gonna go right down in there. I had to cut a couple of these tabs off, but man, these are gonna work out great. And I'm gonna dynamite the crap and foam them real good. I'll show you what they look like when we get them all put together. All right, so we got this bolted down. Sorry about my focus on my camera. Everything's bolted down. It's sealed up in there pretty good. I don't know why this thing keeps getting out of focus, but we got it screwed down in there really good. It's sealed up really good. Once we mount the speaker in there, I'm still gonna foam it, and I think I'm gonna dynamite it on the inside all the way around. That way it'll just be 100% sealed, and then we'll even seal it on the outside too, just to make sure it's not vibrating or losing any kind of air or any kind of like sound. So we went inside here and dynamited all around this. We got our 4,000 fitting in here. It even has this to protect it. That's pretty awesome from the rain, the moisture. We got everything sealed up around there, everything sealed up here. We're probably gonna run a bead of dynamite back here and on the whole door, right around where the speaker's at. That way our mid bass is on point. Passenger side door panel collars right here. These are the speaker harnesses that you will want to use, the 72-4568 Metro speaker harnesses. You just plug these in to get you everything that you need. I'll kind of show you when I take them out of the package. But it basically gives you your connections on the other side, and it plugs and plays. All right, we have everything installed. Pieces mounted onto this piece. We've went ahead and ballistic dynamited back here. Everything's screwed into this one, everything's screwed into this one, everything's bolted into here, and this is bolted in here with foam all the way around it. So it should be pretty stout. I might go back here just a little bit more, you know, just to make sure it's 100% sealed off. I want to make sure that this thing is as sealed off as I can possibly get it. First step we're going to do is we're going to take off these A-pillars. We're going to have to unsnap them here. There's a piece right here that's a black piece that you have to slide off, but it has two pieces right here that snap in. So we're going to go ahead and start pulling this off. You can use a panel pry tool or a plastic one, whichever you prefer. And it will just pop right out right here. And this is the black piece I'm talking about right here. As you can see, you'll have to slide it out because that's what this piece slides into. And it has a piece right over here that it holds itself into right there. It's kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest. If you look at it from the side over here, when this is pushed down like that, it clicks in just like that. What you'll want to do is push down here in the front, and then this part right here will pop out, and then boom, this slides out like that. And then you just slide it back in when you put it back in. Here's the back side of the A-pillar, the two pieces that snap in. And here's why we have to do this, is because it sits on top of this piece right here that we need to pull up and remove all the way across. So you got to do this on both sides, and then that way it's not sitting on top of this right here. Now we have both sides completely removed. Now all we got to do is lift up on this, and it looks easy, but it's not. So just be real careful. In order to get this up, what I recommend is getting a plastic pry tool and going every 2 inches and pushing up like I'm doing, just like this, and just letting it do its thing. You do not want to start grabbing it and ripping all the way across. You will break this thing. It's super fragile. These clips will break. This is not something you want to break. So I'm telling you, just go around this, and it's super tight, and just do this motion and just try to just guide it up. Do not use metal, use a plastic pry tool. Do not use metal, you will mar the whole dash. Don't do that. When you get the whole piece off, you're going to have a harness right down there that you will need to unplug as well. All right, so we have our speaker over here, speaker in the middle, and then our speaker over here on the right. And that is how they mount right there. They're almost like a quad mounting system, almost like a 4-inch, but it's more like a 3.5. As you can see, we take our Milwaukee right angle, and I'll kind of show you how we do it. But basically, you can just take your right angle and get it right on there. So basically right there, and then you can just unscrew it out. It is a 7mm, and it has it on that side, and it has it on this side. Here's speaker colors on the front passenger upper speaker. You have your green and purple, and this is also the connector right here. And that's the hole that you have. That's about how much room you have inside of there. This one, I believe, is a bigger hole than that one. Yeah, it is a much bigger hole. And its wire colors are, from what I can see, like a tan and blue for this one. Same connector, same speaker, just has a bigger hole underneath it. The speakers that comes out, which are a 3.2 ohm. Here's the connector. Has like a Neo style magnet on it, very small, very lightweight, and they all three are the same. And here is the middle harness here. It's like a blue, I mean, it's like a tan to me. I would say tan, maybe slight orange, but looks tan to me. This is the type of right angle. You'll have to get this one out because it's deep down in there. This one, you're gonna have to use a shorter one, and I'm guessing probably this one, because I can't even get my Milwaukee right angle in there because they put them on the opposite side on each side. It's weird. The other side, the passenger side, they're on here, driver's side, they're on here, and they got it buried so deep into there and right up close to the windshield there. We ended up having to use a ratchet because this part was too long. So you're gonna have to probably use a ratchet with a 7mm. And this one is brownish tan and yellow on this one. And any normal 3.5-inch speaker is gonna bolt right in there, and you can get it right on those 2 posts, and this will bolt right in there just like factory. And you use a speaker harness adapter to be able to mount everything in. Now we've got a different type of speaker in there, but you can just throw a 3.5 in there with no issues, and it will fit right down in there. And then, now this car we're gonna build custom plates because we're gonna do a 2-inch So it's gonna be a little different on this car, but we want to show you that all you have to do is take a 3.5. We will put the link down in the description down below. You can just buy on these. They'll bolt right in there just like factory, and then just use the speaker harness adapter, and it'll plug right in with no issues. Here's the harness that we made here for 4000 series Audio Dynamics tweeter. They use a metal collet to connect. Beavis made these adapter plates for us to fit them in here just like OEM. And there's our other one over there just to replace these speakers. So basically there's how you have that, and there's our adapter plate. And in the back of the CTSV wagons, this is where the Bose amplifier is located, right here. So we're gonna go ahead and pull up all this nastiness here, and we're gonna go ahead and dynamite this whole entire thing, including the tub. This is the material we're gonna be using. We'll put a link down below in the description underneath this video. This is Stinger. This is probably the most expensive and the absolute best for material. And the reason why I say this is when you open this up and you look at actual how thick this material is compared to others, it is very thick, it's very rigid, works really well. We use Killmat and other brands as well, but it's about half this thickness, so it takes 2 boxes compared to 1 box of the Stinger. So if you're using something high end, especially like this V and what we're doing with this, you want to use something high end on the material. Now Killmat will do the job, but it just takes a lot of it comparable to equal to this. So we attached our neo magnets here, and then that way they will basically step down onto these pieces right here, and also help to keep it from vibrating and the weight from pushing down.